The only things I can complain about are the obvious things that are just gonna cost more money. Looks like we're kind of capping out around 92. Make this a better machine. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Hisun Challenger 550 or Cub Cadet Challenger 550. This is a machine that's brand new to us. This is part of a 5-machine group that they've sent to us to demo and to share with you guys. This has a lot of DNA from a machine I used to have that I absolutely loved. It was a Hisun Sector 550. It's the exact same model they would sell at Tractor Supply. I loved that machine. It had all kinds of great features. It was an insane value. We beat the tar out of that thing. Like, everyone kept telling me how it was just going to die on me any minute because it's not a name brand machine, but we put that thing to work. We loved it. It now lives on a friend of ours from church. They're still loving it. It's still working and serving them well. So take care of these machines and they'll take care of you. We're going to talk about all the features, all the different things that this one comes with. This is kind of a unique setup. There's a couple things on here that I want to talk to you guys about. I want your feedback. Anything that you would change and make differently. There's a couple things I would change about this to make it kind of like lights out, like an insanely good machine. There's also some things about it that just as it is, I think it's under $9,000. Like, that's a great, crazy good value these days. I think this could be great value for someone. And we're going to actually also use an audiometer today, which is going to test the decibels in the cab while we're driving up down these hills. And we're going to see how loud it is, because some of these newer machines, they're getting so uncomfortably loud, you could barely even drive them. I'm also going to show you a very inexpensive way that if you have one of those machines, you can still enjoy it, still use it, still have fun with it, but maybe protect your hearing a little bit better. Let's get to work. Let's have some fun here on a beautiful Tennessee morning. Okay, so first things first, I want you guys to tell me what we should call this thing. I've heard that we should call it Bumblebee. I've heard Old Yeller. I've heard a couple of other different things. What do you guys think the name should be? I think it's an excellent looking machine. It looks really, really nice. I love the aggressive look. There's actually a really cool cargo place in here we'll look at here in a second. So this is the 550. There's another model called a 750 that has some different features, which we'll talk about that here in a minute. But if you look at the front of this thing, obviously a big push bar on the front. I like the two-color scheme, the black and the white, or black and the yellow. And I love the yellow, guys. Tell me what you think about that yellow. Coming in here on the suspension, I mean, look at this thing. These things are solid. That is thick steel protecting your A-arms and your CV boots. And adjustable shocks, radiator right here is liquid cooled, disc brakes all the way around. You could set this up for a winch if you want to. It's pre-wired for one, I believe. What's really nice too is that in this little cubby, you have some storage. You just pull it, it has these pull tabs, and this is where you'd access your radiator, coolant, air intake, fuse box. There's your coolant overflow, I believe, right there. And then you've got some storage here, which is pretty cool. It's always nice to have more storage on a machine than less. So cannot complain about that. Going back on, just meet those clips there at the bottom. Push, push, we're back. So, talking about the tires, very, very plain steel rims. That's how they keep the cost down, guys. You know, there's not anything flashy on here, but I kind of like those. I think that they look good. I think the black and the yellow scheme looks great. Any kind of two-color scheme, I think would look really good with this kind of setup. The plastics are nice. They're heavy duty. You know, they're going to kick back when you hit them. Comes with side mirrors, windshield, which we're going to talk about something special about this windshield here in a second. And comes with a roof. One of the things I was talking about that's kind of strange is these doors, right? The bar door to me just didn't make a whole lot of sense. I thought that, you know, you're still going to have mud and air and all those things coming in. This is the thing. Any vehicle that goes over 25 miles per hour, I believe, has to have a passenger restraint on it. So rather than having some cheesy net or actually a full door, this is the compromise. So tell me what you guys think of that. I kind of would rather have a full door. The 750 does have a full door. The 750 has a full door, and when you come around to the back, it has a full tailgate. Now this has almost like this reminds me of like an old 350 Ford or something rolling down there with a bunch of bales of hay in the back. Hey, it keeps stuff in there, it works, but I think that for me, I would prefer a tailgate as opposed to this, you know, tubing system. Now it's really well built. You know, this works flawlessly. You don't have to push both sides. There's one over here too. You just push one and it releases, but the bed comes with hooks, slats for organization, you know, top slats here for if you want, again, more organization. The bed is pretty heavy duty. You know, exactly what you kind of expect out of a nice side-by-side. It's, you know, this is not soft plastic that's very easily pliable. You know, this is pretty hardcore stuff. So I think this is going to last a long time as far as the body. You know, the drivetrain's different. People have their own opinions about drivetrains on different machines. My experience with Hisun has been excellent. I've had a handful of them. I've spent my money with them, and this is now a partnership with them, which we would not do if we didn't feel like that power plant was going to be something that would be quality. So there's the muffler, engine, muffler. You can kind of see the components in here. It's just, does this look like something that should be cheap to you guys? I mean, I think the pricing is very reasonable. So I had a Hisun machine, as I told you guys, and we had a great experience with it. I love the note of the engine. The break-in period was, you know, I followed all the instructions to a T. I made sure, any of the machines we have out here, I always follow the break-in, use high-quality fluids, change the fluids when they're supposed to be changed, and use good, high-quality, non-ethanol fuel. And I think that a lot of the problems people are having would be, you know, they wouldn't be problems. I think some of this stuff is self-inflicted. Now, these machines are mechanical. At some point, they're going to have a failure. Parts availability, there's parts everywhere for this thing. They've been building this particular model for a very long time. So no concerns about parts. And I think that if you take care of it, it should take care of you. All right, let's go on the inside. Take a look at the cab. And very spacious. A nice steering wheel. It is adjustable. Here are your lights, on, off, high beam, low beam, hazards, turn lights, turning signals. I don't know if this is going to be street legal, so I will get that question. It's going to be state specific, guys. It's really up to your state. But you do have side mirrors. And then when you get in the cab, you have a handbrake, which is cool. Gear selectors, which has a park. I've said before, I love when they have a park because it's like, you know it's not going anywhere, which is really cool because I can't always trust this thing. And we have a lot of hills around here. So a park for us is very important. Four-wheel drive, push button, locking differential, unlock. There's where it's pre-wired for a winch. Gas pedal, brake pedal, you know, that's pretty standard. You do have a power outlet. It's not USBs or anything, but you can get one of those adapters if you need them. Grab bar, storage, and it actually comes with the tools to adjust the suspension. So that's nice. You don't have to buy those. And this is what's kind of cool too. So two things about the windshield. One is that you can flip these things. I like this design. I mean, other ones have the sliding. I like this because this just kind of opens up and then closes. It's like, it's flawless. You don't have to worry about tightening things and all that. And the thing that I love about the windshield is that this windshield actually goes all the way to the top, and there's a rubber gasket in here that keeps any kind of debris or air coming in, which that's unique. You don't usually see that. Sometimes they'll stop about here, and again, being a tall dude, it blows right into my eyeballs. Not ideal when you're trying to drive on a dusty gravel road. This one does go all the way up, and it's just a great setup. I think it's really well thought out. So that's usually what happens when you look at something that's been around for a very, very long time. Hisun builds a nice machine, and this is one of many that we've demoed and tested, and so far, so good. We've looked at the engine, we've looked at the exterior, we've looked at the front. Let's look at the rear real quick. So again, you have beefy guards on here for going through hayfields and thorns and the kinds of things that we usually take side-by-sides through. We try not to tear up CV boots, but we do. Max towing weight is 1,200 pounds. Where is it? There it is. And then we have a 2-inch receiver. You're not going to use this for towing a big hay wagon. You're going to use this for, you know, you could put a seeder or a spreader or a small trailer on there, and it's going to serve you very, very well. So this is 550 cc's. It's a 550, which means 550 cc's, but there's a lot of machines out there that are 550s that are not 550, they're 496. So that's pretty common. You know, it's not to knock anyone. I had someone ask me one time, they're like, this is false advertising. It says 550 and it's only, 496 cc's. I was like, well, if you drive a Ford F-150, is a Ford F-150 150 horsepower? I was like, what's the difference? It's model number. But this one is a true 550 cc's and you can actually feel it. Let's load it up. Let's take it for a ride. Let's have some fun. Okay, so I have the sound meter. What we're gonna do is, this is a Rise Pro sound level meter. I think it's called an audiometer. If I said that wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm sure somebody probably will. But I bought this on Amazon. It's super handy. I'll leave a link for it if you guys are interested, but I think it's like 20, 30 bucks. A lot of smartphone apps will do it too, but this is actually a true, one second. Sorry, it's spring in Middle Tennessee. So that's allergy season. But me just talking is like 67 to 70 decibels, very comfortable levels. You know, dangerous levels is when it starts to get up to like 90, 100, 110. You know, that's when you're starting to do some hearing damage, prolonged kind of sound. I think that it's kind of a good exercise to just go ahead and do this. I've done other videos if you want to check those out where I've, you know, shown what the audiometer would read. And I'm not sure if you can really see that well in the camera or not. You know, it's kind of a sunny day, but I'll read it off to you right now, me talking 66 to 74. You know, right now it's 70. And if I'm super quiet, we're at like 40, 45, there's birds chirping in the background. So let's turn on the engine and see what that kind of sounds like. '73 at idle. So if we start revving it up, whoop, let's just do it in neutral so I don't run into a tree. '83 to 85. So let's just take it for a rip, see what happens, and we'll go up some of these hills. I'm sure it's going to go into the max RPM to get up some of these hills because it's not a huge engine for a nice size machine, but let's see what happens. And I took an allergy pill this morning. It's gonna be a fun summer. All right, so let's start off in high. I'm just gonna keep this thing showing it to you guys and I'll read it off once it gets in place. All right, looks like we're kind of capping out around 92. So let's go into low, see if that makes a difference. It shouldn't, but you never know. And someone's gonna ask in the comments why we didn't do it. I mean, I think we're in the same ballpark. Not much of a difference. Well, the audiometer is incredibly helpful at telling you how loud things are, and I think that this is the kind of thing where, you know, for the amount of money this costs, go ahead and pick one of these things up because it's going to protect your hearing. I don't care if you use my link or not. Just get something like this to protect your hearing, to know how loud things are. And when they do get super loud and you're having a hard time, you know, really enjoying the machine because it's so loud, buy a set of these things. These are 3M work tunes. I have zero relationship with 3M. They have no idea who I am. Bought these on Amazon. You can use my link or another one. Really, it's up to you. I don't care. Battery lasts forever. The music sounds really good through them, and it protects your hearing in these kinds of machines and they're comfortable. Like you don't look awesome when you're wearing them. I mean, you look kind of like Mickey Mouse, but they really are very well made. I've run over them before. Like, I think a set of these things for like 75, 80 bucks is well worth the investment because it just makes them more enjoyable. I have a lot of machines out here. We've tested electric machines, cab machines, everything else. The cab machines seem to be the loudest, and that's just by nature. There's nothing you can do about it. You're enclosed in there. There's no insulation, and it's just gonna be loud. So a set of those 3M work tunes, you could be in the cab, be comfortable, you know, keep the wind off you and everything else, or in something like this, if you're gonna be on it for a long time spraying, you know, I'll be honest, I don't wear it going from here to there, but if I'm gonna be spraying or seating or being this thing for, you know, some period of time, I'm gonna have hearing protection on because one, I like to listen to music and podcasts, and two, I like my hearing, so. Let's wrap up. Let's talk about what we like, don't like about this machine, and a couple things that I think that they could change that would make it awesome. All right, real quickly, let's talk about what we like, what we don't like, and what we would change. I'm gonna make this very simple. Very, very simple. This is the first company that I've ever seen that has everything I would change and everything that I would, if I was to, you know, make this a better machine, they already have it. The 750 does all that. So the 750 has all of the different features on here that I would make to this one if I was to try and upgrade this base model. So the base model is the same frame, same chassis and everything, but it does have obviously a 750cc engine, thus the name 750. And some of the other upgrades that it has is it has power steering, it has full doors, it has a full tailgate, which are probably the things that are, you know, the first things I would change. It has more upgraded wheels or fancier wheels, which I don't care about wheels. I'm not a big wheel guy, but that's definitely something that a lot of people are going to be interested in. The 750 has more of a wraparound bumper, I guess you'd call it, and a winch. And it has, again, that kind of cab that it doesn't have heat and air and AC, but it does have more of a cab surround with the doors that they just kind of encompass you a little bit more, and a back window, which I'm new to the back window thing. Like, I had a bunch of viewers tell me I needed to have back windows on my machines because the stuff would stop blowing in here. And look at this. I mean, they're right. This stuff's blowing in here because I don't have a back window. The MP9 550, we put the back window in, nothing blows in the machine anymore. Who knew? I mean, that's why I have this channel. You guys are awesome. You guys teach me so much stuff. But as far as, you know, what I would change on this one, I really like it as it is. I think that for the money, you gotta have stuff people can afford. This is under $9,000. It is a steal for under $9,000. Minor upgrades, put some better doors on here. I like a tailgate versus that. That's it. Like, the power steering would be awesome. That's gonna add another $1,000. People can't afford to go out here and buy these $30,000 and $40,000 machines. There's $50,000 machines. Polaris has one right now that's like $50,000, $60,000. Like, you got it, man, go for it. Like, I love them. I think they're awesome. I'd love to have one, but that's not in my cards. But this is in my cards. And I think a lot more people can afford something like this than they can these high-end machines. But going from the 550 to the 750, if you have, you know, the 550 is gonna be everything you need. If there's more things that you want, get the 750. These are long-term purchases. You know, if you take care of them, again, good fuel, good fluids, do the service on the right intervals, maybe even early. I always do it early, to be quite honest. You know, this will go to 20 to 40 hours and or 20 to 40 miles really. I'll drop the oil in the oil filter and then I'll do it again, probably at 100. So, you know, very early on while they're breaking in, you want to do this stuff because then you're never going to see a service center. People say, where are you going to service them? They have service centers all over the country. All these other machines that people warned me about, never had an issue. I just change oil in them, change the diff fluids, and it's insanely simple. Then you just beat them up and have fun with it. Well, friends, that's going to do it for us. I appreciate you watching this video. If you would like to see more of this machine and other Hisun machines and other brands, we test a lot of power sports equipment here on the channel. Hit that subscribe button, come along with us, because we do usually like an intro video. We talk about the machine and then we work the heck out of it. We make sure that you guys get a good impression of what, if this shows up at your property, they look real pretty in a showroom, but what does it look like after 6 months, a year, or longer being worked on a real Tennessee farm? There's no sugarcoating it. We're here to beat them up and make sure that you don't spend money on something that can't handle it. So I appreciate you watching this video. Hope you'll come back and see us, and I'll catch you in the next one. Joe the Farmer, we out.